Um, so today we have a person by the name of Robert. Um, Sent an email. It's a good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. I'm currently climbing rapidly with mainly Torbjörn, with about 70% win rate. However, I know I need help because I lose truly winnable games such as this one. I was on Dorado and I ended up losing 3-2. I know some of my possible bad habits will be punished at Platinum and above. Please coach me on how to improve and help me win these winnable games. Alright, so right off the bat, Torbjörn. Typically a defense hero, but I do know players that main Torbjorn and like Diamond and above in basically all scenarios, so it's workable. So we'll see. Alright, so right off the bat, Torb McCree isn't exactly the best with a diva. A better comp here would be to run double shield with like a Moira Baptiste, just run extremely bunker, because play around the Torb, but what's going on here? uh... Okay, there we go. Okay, so turret location here isn't exactly the best, because even if you get it up here, right? I mean, it has sightlines to here and here, but starting out, it's not the best. A better spot would be if you were up here, maybe put your turret like right here, or, like right here, right? Because it has more sightlines when they're first coming out. If we want to hold back here, holding back here isn't the best. If we're in team chat, we should signal for a tanks to come, up here on high ground, but it's whatever. But yeah, this turret, it's not going to get too much value starting out, because you're going to have to wait till the cart's all the way here first, whereas you could have a turret that's shooting at them right when they turn this corner. So a bit of lost value, but whatever. Alright, we land the turret. I mean, it's a good turret spot for later on, so I guess you're playing for once they hit this stroke, but it's whatever. Alright, Diva's kind of thing. Alright, so Molten Core here is kind of not necessary. Alright, so your Molten, or actually, I don't exactly know what the ability is called. I think it's called like Overload or something like that. Whatever, your right bumper or your, I believe it's E ability, yeah. So, anyways, you know, it's not necessarily good to use it right out the gate. It's better to use it when you're dove, right? Um, I I would rather see it used when you're dove by like a flanker or something, or you're in up close like 1v1ing, say, look at, you see they have a Hammond, they have a Roadhog. Like if you're at close range, pop that and then just pump a bunch of damage into them very, very quickly. But right here, it's not really worth it because we're kind of at range. We're just going to be shooting at them anyways. Like, it lets us shoot at them faster, but it's not really useful. And it has a long enough cooldown. It has like a 10-second cooldown. And now we're booped off. This is when we should have used it. Overloaded on him. Pump a bunch of shotgun shots into this Hammond. And he could honestly probably be dead because right now he's being focused by you and Diva. And if this Orisa turns around, which she probably won't, and then this McCree's gonna die. But you could pop your Overload here, and then just light him up. Yeah, because he could have died there. You see how low he was? And then we didn't have it, and we kind of just fell apart. And didn't realize our positioning. So I would have used Overload and then backed out if we would have held on to it longer, but it's unlucky. Also, you didn't realize where you were positioning wise, and then you got hooked by Roadhog, so just be more aware of where you are. But alright, here comes Hammond. See, oopsie daisies. There we go. Alright. Okay, turret location. Alright, we're popping Molten Core once again. We're wasting it here. There's really no reason. Like, Molten Core, right? Sorry, Overload. Overload you really only want to use when you're close to people. Like, you can use it at long range, but like honestly don't use it when you're just shooting damage into a choke. Use it when you're actually focusing down like a specific player and you need to burst them down really quickly. That's really only when it's necessary, or when you're low HP and want to pop it. But using it here is kind of pointless. Yeah, we're not really having any impact here. We could push in. We could be more aggressive. So sitting here, once again, we've Molten Cord, but I think this Hammond, yeah, he's rolling into us, so this is good. We can scattershot him and hopefully kill him. But we need to be a little bit more aggressive with Torbjörn. There's no reason to play this far back. We should be up with our Orisa preferably, but please burst him down. You didn't burst him down. No! We should have killed Hammond. Alright, back out, back out. Okay. Just back out. This is the last fight. Why are we sneaking up? Why are we sneaking up? We're just gonna feed here. Alright, there's no reason to contest here. And we're dead. Alright. So, look. The time that... Alright, let's look at it from... I feel great. Alright, so. All these people are fucked. They're all gonna die. Look at their HP. They have no healer. They're getting focused by a soldier with tac visor and this ball. They're all dead. That's 3, and he just killed Moira, so he's gonna get a 4K. It's gonna be 1v6 or 1v5 if you're pushing in because they killed Tracer, right? So 1v5, it's not possible to win it. The only thing you're going to accomplish here is stalling the cart for about 8 seconds, 10 seconds, give or take, which is not worth it because you're gonna look at your health. When you overload, that's gonna shoot up even more, and you're gonna be almost full HP, and you're just gonna feed the ults of look at Hammond, right? He doesn't have ult. He'll get ult because of you. The Brig's gonna charge her ult, and the Ana's gonna get it anyways. But Brig primarily, she's gonna charge her ult, right? And maybe Soldier, probably not. But you know, here's the thing. A lot of low-ranked players, what they'll do is they'll try and stall point or touch or whatever, no matter what, even if it's going to get them killed. And typically, it's honestly worth it for the enemy team. Just let them take a point and do that instead of, you know, just pushing in like this, just the touch, because like you're touching, yes, but what is that touch actually going to give you in the long run? Nothing. It's just going to give the enemy team more ult charge and more ultimates in turn, leading to you losing the next team fight possibly because you will be down ults and they'll be up ults. So we need to think about that when we're doing plays like this, right? Because typically, like, it's only really worth it to, like, stall this if it's, like, overtime. But this is first point. The rest of our team's dead. There's no reason. We just back up, we run back through here, and we go with our team, right? That's the play. But no, we run right in. So, look at you. You're sneaking in. And then you invest everything. Look at the Brig's ult charge up top. She already has Rally because of that. She wouldn't have had it. But now she has Rally. And now they have both support ults, so. Yeah. Big waste. Alright, pushing in. Also, this is a very wonky comp, so like if you are in team chat, I would get this to change. We honestly need a Reinhardt. If we play a Reinhardt into them, this would be a lot easier, but we're running Orisa D.Va, which is a wonky comp. D.Va's not doing too much because she's just going to get consistently hooked by a Roadhog and stuff like that. There's a lot of CC. She can't really fly around and pressure people. Only thing she can really do is she can stop a soldier if he takes high ground, which it looks like he's going to. Yeah, so she might do that. We'll see. I mean, this is gold, so like I don't exactly know what's gonna go on with that. But yeah, Orisa, you know, she should preferably swap to a Reinhardt, and then we could honestly just run double shield here. But that's assuming you're in chat and assuming they're in chat, but whatever. Alright. But yeah, I don't know, it's just really wonky because your shield always breaks. Soldier's here, he's gonna flank. Alright, where are you? You're going back. Once again, you're molten coring for no reason. Or I mean overloading, oh my god. Yeah, so this is, I'm assuming, going to be consistent throughout your play, and yes, this is one of your mistakes that will be punished very often in platinum and above, because gold's the rank, right? Gold's the rank where you learn basically your kit and the values of your kit, what you're meant to, well, I mean, you learn in silver and bronze what you're meant to be doing with your hero, but in gold it's basically learn the ins and outs of your hero and everything that they can do and all their ults, or what their ult is meant to do, what their cooldowns are meant to do, etc, etc. And, you know, if you're wasting cooldowns and stuff, it's going to be really hard to progress, because once you get to platinum, you're meant to take those skills and then play with a team. Once you get to diamond, you're meant to take those skills to an advanced level, play with advanced team comps, strategies, and ultimates. It just gets more complicated and more complicated, so you need the fundamentals, right? So wasting molten core here, it's like not getting any value. You keep on wasting it. Just think every time you use molten core, or I mean overload, whatever. Whenever you use overload, always think, like, is this getting value? What value is this getting me? Also, always think that regardless of, like, any ability that you use, any ability, any ult, especially when you're in the lower ranks trying to climb, just be hypercritical of everything you do. Like, was this necessary? What did I do here? What was good about this? You know, like, make sure you're always hypercritical of things like that, so. But yeah, waste the molten core. Sorry I had to reset the recording. I'll, but whatever. So yeah, this is a waste of molten core. We're not really getting value here. Alright, we should be more aggressive. So overall, our main issues right now is that we're wasting molten core and we're not aggressive enough. Like, we're playing extremely far back, extremely passive. You know, Torbjörn has that shotgun for a reason. Like, get up close, get up with your tanks. You should be up there with the tanks. You shouldn't be playing back here like a sniper Torb. Because also it's going to be harder for you to hit things, right? Right now we're just playing really... We're not getting value, put simply. Like, we're not doing anything here. And once again, we waste molten core. Alright, so overload, whatever. Alright, so if I say molten core... Typically, alright, let's get something straight. If I say molten core, I'm typically meaning this. I'm going to try and correct myself as much as possible, but I've always called it molten core. And I'll call your ultimate, like, Torbol or something like that, okay? Because, I don't know, for some reason I can't call it by its actual name, so I apologize. But anyways, you're treating Overload like it's an ability that, you should pop, like, whenever it's on cooldown. Like, it should always be off cooldown. Or on cooldown, I mean. So, like, you're always popping it the second you can, and then you never actually can use it when it's needed. It's not that type of ability. It's not like Hog Hook where you should be going for every hook possible. It's like an ability that you should use only when it's really needed, to keep you alive, and or to punish flankers or punish close range enemies. So right now we're really just, this is a waste. Again, not getting value. Okay. So tip with your molten core, right? Or your ultimate. Right, so when you ult like that, this isn't really accomplishing too much, because you typically, alright, so the whole point of molten core, and yes, I'm talking about your ultimate, is that it blocks off chokes, and it blocks off the enemy team from being able to move, right? If it gets a bunch of kills, great, but normally it only gets those kills if pressure's put onto the team, and they are forced to walk through it. Right here, it's not really doing anything. What's it doing? It's walling off one Roadhog, and it's not actually walling him off, because if he sits on this, and then just uses Take a Breather when he drives over this little, tiny little ass puddle of lava, he lives, right? So there's really no reason to use Molten Core here. Molten Core, typically you would want to use it when everybody's on cart and they're trying to push or they're trying to retreat or something like that. You lock them off so that they can't move. That's the whole point of your ultimate, is it stops movement and it keeps the enemy team constricted and confined to a small area. Also, this was bad placement, but also to get maximum value out of Molten Core, you have, in case you didn't notice, let's go back, alright, so Alright, so you see those little charges on the left side? So you're not actually spraying like a full beam, right? You're shooting little charges of lava, like one ball, and then that splits into a little puddle, right? So what you want to do to maximize value is shoot all but one of those charges, and then hold it until the end of the charge meter on the right side, until that gets to the very end, and then you aim it straight up and bop it into the air. Because then, basically the way the Torb's ult works is that it only starts to go away because there's like an internal timer, you know, so that it doesn't stay there forever, so that it finally disappears. And that timer only starts once the last charge is down or once the timer has elapsed. So if there's a charge in the air, then that timer's not gonna start. That timer doesn't start until that last charge hits the ground. So always just wait until the very last second and then bop that last charge straight up just to get maximum uptime of your ultimate. It'll just get you more value. But this is bad placement, as I already talked about before, because see, if we see, this isn't really stopping anybody. This doesn't block off anything. So. Alright, kill the Sprig, kill the Sprig, kill the Sprig. Shotgunner. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's back out. Yep, back out. Waste of Molten Core here. We have a healer. Of Overload, sorry. Just a waste. Nice shot on Soldier. Big. Yeah, we're playing a bit too aggressive there. We should have backed right out. I mean, nice shot on Soldier, but yeah, we should have backed out. Alright. Coming back from spawn. Okay. Yeah, we're just W-king, and I mean, we kind of need to, but like, just kind of unlucky. Alright, we got Nano, so we can be a lot more aggressive. We should have been a lot more aggressive on Hog. Actually, I want to take a step back for a minute. Alright. Alright, so waste of Molten Core once again here. Yeah, so far, no offense, but there hasn't been a single, overload, sorry. There hasn't been a single overload that has actually gotten value. There we go. There's a big overload. We got Nano. Alright, and then we push in. Yep, nice, nice, nice. Yeah. I mean, this is just a stall fight, so like I don't really expect you to live for too long. Like, we've lost fight. It's just basically how long can we tick down their time. Not long. That's the answer, and there we go. Alright, yeah, so basically your main issue right now, like, I mean, your ult usage so far, you've only used one ult. But it wasn't that great, right? We need better placement and understanding of actually what that ult is meant to do. Also, your overloads are not getting value, like, at all. So we need to work on that as well. Alright. So now we're on attack, so I assume you're gonna still run Torbjörn, and then we're gonna go for like a pirate ship strat or something like that.
Ready for battle.
Yep, Torbjörn, what a surprise. Ready.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Alright, so the Rhine Diva is gonna be weird. So honestly, it doesn't seem like we're playing this for pirate ship, and if we are, this is a very bad pirate ship comp. But like the typical, so if you want to run pirate ship, right, the typical comp would be to either run like Torb Sim, preferably Torb Bastion though, I mean, you could run a different DPS, but, you know, centered around the DPS, and then you would run double shield on that, so typically a Ryan Orisa. You could run Ryan Sig, but Ryan Orisa typically just works better. And then you would run, either, like, Ana Baptiste or Mercy Baptiste, although I'm not sure what week you're in, so I don't know what heroes are banned. Oh, Balls, on the enemy team, so actually, yeah, Mercy Baptiste would probably be the play. You could run Moira Baptiste as well, though, but... Yeah, so I would not, so basically what I'm trying to say is basically I would not play for the pirate ship, right? Just place your turret like around where it would get value, but I wouldn't put it directly on cart because chances are Reinhardt's not going to play for that.
2, 1.
But
Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
yeah, so whatever. Once again, waste the Molten Core. We don't even know what's around the corner and we're just, I mean waste of overload. We don't even know what's around the corner and we're still overloading. Getting some good shots in here though. No reason to reload. We still had 11 shots in our clip. So a lot of low ranked players, right? Especially like Widowmakers. There'll be Widows that literally like they have crazy aim, but then they reload after every shot. So that will like that simple action in and of itself will hold them down in the lower ranks. Like reloading constantly. I mean, that's the first time I've seen you do a bad reload. But like typically you should only be reloading when you have like very few shots left. Like if you still have half or even like a quarter of your shots left and you're mid-fight, I would not reload, right? Because like I'll see Widows though, like they'll take three scope shots and then they'll reload with 21 bullets left, and it's like why? And then I'll also see Orisas that they'll like they have I think 150 rounds, and then they'll shoot it down to like 80 or something, and they'll still be mid-fight, and then they'll reload because they're like half ammo, but that's still 80 shots, so like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like don't waste your reloads, but. It's not a big issue. It's just something I thought I'd touch on. Alright, we can be a little bit more aggressive here. Yeah, Molten Core. Going. Ah, okay. Molten Core would have been good if we were a little bit more aggressive with the shotgun, but whatever. Also, we're shooting blindly, so like we're basically, our Torb gameplay, right? We're just shooting in a straight line and hoping our shots hit something, and instead of actually like knowing where targets are and then going for those targets. Like right now we're wasting shots. So. And that's not because of bad aim, that's just because we're not looking where the targets are, right? We're kind of just spamming down choke and hoping it hits stuff. Also, alright, so your aim, right? And like I would practice with aim trainers and stuff, practice with your aim. That's what I did when I was in gold. I just grinded my aim out until it was really, really good. And then I kind of got out of gold. Well, actually, no, I didn't get out of gold because of aim. But anyways, you know, I would practice it when you're in like gold plat. Honestly, aim is a big deal. Because once you get up to like ranks like Diamond Master, you need to have your aim at a really good level because your aim isn't going to be that important, right? And you want your aim good so that you can focus on other things like your positioning and your game sense and your mechanics and all that stuff. Aim should be like the last thing on your mind. So I would practice aim a lot because you've missed quite a few shots, but also a tip right now, you're basically just left, right strafing and not moving your crosshair at all. Like, let's watch the last like 10 seconds. So if you notice, you don't move your crosshair much, right? Like you don't actually try to aim. You just try to left, right strafe and move your crosshair into the shot rather than actually aiming. Like look at it. It barely moves. It's barely moving. There it moved, right? Then you're going back to the same spot. And look at that. Look at that. It's not moving. You're not moving your crosshair at all. It's still not moving. You're still basically left, right strafing. And now it's kind of moving. Now you got it moving, right? Just aim more. Like, don't try and strafe into every shot, because it's not always going to be possible. Also, we're just spamming here. Look at this. We're spamming a wall. Like, what are we doing? Like, let's go back just a few seconds. All right, look at this. Hammond goes away, and now we're just spamming all over the place. We're like, i.e., shoot the entire wall. Like, there's nobody here. We know there's nobody here. Why are we spamming the wall? There's no reason. So. And then when Hog comes out, alright, and now we're actually shooting things. Alright, so we have Molten Core. Can't really combo with anything. I mean, we could combo with Shatter, but yeah, there we go. Lock that entire side off. There you go. Big Molten Core. Okay, what are we doing? Alright, so here, problem is, alright, so typically I see this a lot more with supports, but it matters with every hero. So if you're going to do a Molten Core like that, right? First of all, we should have blocked this entirely off. We kind of did a blind Molten Core and kind of just sprayed around the entire area. The front doesn't matter. Like I said, Molten Core is meant to lock people off. Everybody was back up here when you use Molten Core, right? So you should have gooped this entire side and then walk by and goop this side, right? Just goop these two areas and then you're kind of set and you can spray the rest wherever you want, like in your flank or something like that. But you should have gooped this entire area so that they are locked off here. They still have an opening and they can come straight through here and they're fine. Also, you did a long reposition. Like you kind of just ran all the way in here and you had no impact in the team fight. And then McCree got off a big ult and killed everybody, right? We could have possibly stopped his ult. Here, let's actually see where he was positioned. Let's see. Alright, so we're going in. I think. There we go. Alright. McCree's setting up for flank high noon, I think. We Molten Core. Here comes Soldier. And here comes the flank McCree. So if we were to stay here, like right where we were, instead of taking this long flank reposition sort of thing, we could have just fired down Choke and possibly killed one of them. At least one. And McCree, if you have like good enough aim, right? Well, it doesn't even take that much of good aim because he's basically standing still. Like he can left right strafe a little bit, but he can't crouch spam. He can't really make drastic movements. He moves barely at all when he's dead-eyeing, so like he's the perfect target. Like 2 dinks and he's dead when you're Torbjörn, right? So like you should be able to kill him when he's dead-eyeing, especially if you're behind Ryan's shield, but you did this long reposition and then you kind of just left your team all to die. He gets a big dead-eye, and then they clean up fight, and you are dead and staggered. Alright, so in this situation, look, don't stagger yourself. That wasn't a long stagger, but it was a stagger. So if the fight is lost, and you're gonna die no matter what, there's no way to get out, there's no way to hide, they know you're there, then either try to jump off the map, which on Dorado you can't do. Preferably you jump off the map, because then you're not feeding the enemy team ult charge for when they kill you. But if not, you just W key into the squishiest thing and you start shooting it, okay? And you force them to kill you. Baby Diva is the most popular character to stagger because she has no cooldowns, right? She kind of just runs around and you can block her, you can CC her, you can do a bunch of stuff, so you can get like long 30-second staggers, sometimes a minute off of her because of her respawn and the time it takes for her to get back, right? But if you're like a Baby Diva or anybody that's getting staggered, right? You just W key into the squishiest thing on the team and you shoot it, okay? Because if you're shooting a tank, right, they'll just heal, the supports will heal it, they'll get ult charge, right? They don't care. But if you're like W keying and shooting a support that could die from you, then they'll kill you. So just W key into the squishiest thing possible and kill it. And then they'll be forced to kill you and you'll get a reset with your team. That was a long stagger. We shouldn't have had that stagger for that long because now, look, our team has already moved out and we're still coming back from spawn. But right. Nano visor. Interesting. Okay. Soldier's not taking high ground at all. Lol. Alright, we just stood and choke and died. To be fair, Reinhardt's being a complete fucking dumbass and just taking this high ground, kind of leaving the team to die, but don't play in choke if they have all that damage coming down. They have a McCree with pretty high pick potential. They have a Soldier that's just as consistent damage, and then Moira is damaging as well. So it's kind of just a damage fest. Don't peek like that. Or use your Molten Core to get out. Big bomb. Just gonna watch some other people, because why not? Alright, we should have point here. Soldier's pushing out. Cheeky. Oh, we should kill this Hammond. Why is there Ana AFK? Well, okay. How was that? Yep. We wasted molten core. Nice. That's a nice shot. Nice shots on Baptiste too. Oh, we can molten core and okay. Got out too quick. Like as soon as this Hammond comes, right? We're playing way too far back and we're molten coring and that's a waste again. We're playing way too far back still, and we're also just wasting molten core all the time, or overload all the time. Sorry, still. So. Alright, so I want to ask you, well actually rhetorical question because I can't really talk to you, but what do you think this molten core just did? Right. So here you are, right? And you pop molten core in an attempt to counter. Look at where it all landed, blocking off nothing. You have a splat here, which isn't going to do anything, and you have a big splat here, which isn't going to do anything. Like, you haven't blocked any chokes, you haven't blocked any sight lines from anybody. Honestly, here we shouldn't have molten cored at all. If we wanted to molten core, like, really, really bad, then we should have molten cored this entire choke line from this wall, or this pillar to this pillar. Just wall off Soldier and McCree. And then we could have used the rest to wall hog off from this pillar to this pillar, and maybe if we had enough from this pillar to this pillar, just to box them in entirely. But you want to block off players. Here we didn't really do anything, so whatever. But. And now Soldier gets a big visor. They use minefield, and we should die all here. Yep. F. Alright. Yeah, we could have backed out there, but whatever. Lucky. Okay. Why? Alright, so the molten core to get back from spawn isn't really worth it unless it's a long spawn walk. Unless it's a long walk from spawn, but it's not, so. I mean, I guess it's okay because you have it here now, but it's questionable. Alright, some nice shots on Moira. Yeah, back out. Okay. Good shots on that. We can molten core the Soldier. Oh wait, we don't have it. Or overload, I mean. Aim could be better. This Soldier should not have beaten us in the 1v1. Not at all. When you overload a Soldier with shotgun and at point blank range, like you should win that every time. Our aim needs to be a bit improved. I'd recommend using some main trainers. Just Google them. There's like a billion of them. Okay. Oh my god. Oopsie daisies. Also just realized your Ana. Or their Moira, I mean. Dr. Fauci. It's really funny. Anyways. Alright, so we're going in. We should have put turret on cart. Put turret on cart. Please put turret on cart. Thank you. Alright, cool. We're overloading. Waste of overload. This is not a good molten core. Alright, so your molten core, you're treating it, and I know I've already gone over this, so hopefully in future games you won't, because, you know, it's meant to be a zoning ult. But right now you're treating it like it's like a sniper ult, like it turns you into Junkrat or something. Like if you shoot it at people, it kills them very quickly. Because that's what you've been doing. This kind of locks off. This is good, but there's still an opening right here where people can get in, so it's not the best. And I get this requires some precision, but still, this is kind of just all over the place, and it doesn't necessarily block off anybody too well. Also, it's not needed. I mean, it blocks off right here, but like people can still go through here and then go around to your team and stuff like that. It kind of blocks people off, but at the same time, like, you can get around it. And also, what's the point of this? Because look at the significance of this. Your Hammond's back here. Your team's fighting Hammond. He's stalling point. You guys are gonna kill him and push on. But then, by the time your team's up here, your Molten Core and your Lava, that'll all be gone. So you effectively wasted your ult, because the team could just wait here. They're not being pressured. The enemy team can. They're not being pressured, so they'll just wait here. Or this hog will hook you and kill you. Um, yeah, so straight up just waste of Molten Core. Waste of bomb, too. Like, yeah, we need better ults. Kind of just wasting ults here. Like, I know you don't have too much control over this, but like, you know, your team is just burning all their ults, like the team fight's lost. Good dodges. We could oh, okay. Yeah, we got out. I was gonna say we could overload out of there, but it's fine. Overload, get aggressive. See, when you use your overload, you're really passive and you just spray out a bunch of shots in random areas. And your shots typically don't really hit anything. So like, if you're gonna use it, like when somebody's not already in your face, then make them in your face. W key into people. Just push everything. Or just push things. Be more aggressive with it. Alright, that was, I think, a good Molten Core. Yeah, I think it blocked off. Yeah, it blocked off the entire area. Good job. I mean, there's a little spot here, but that's really only for tiny people. Yeah. Good Molten Core there. Timing was a little bit off, but yeah, I got it. That's job accomplished. This is still winnable fight. Molten Core, the hog. Shotgun him. There we go. Nice. Big. Kill this Ana. Kill this Ana. Yeah, there we go. Good turret, turret, turret. Nice. This is good. Oh, you're dead. Unfortunate. Yeah, we W keyed a bit way too far. We should have played card a bit more. Next time, just play card. We even touch? Yeah, we touch. Okay. This ball. Okay. Just gonna watch this fight play out. And we lost. Alright. So, basically, main things that we could have improved there is, our our use of Overload and Molten Core is, very poor. Our Overload usually gets little to no value. And our Molten Core, we only got like one that actually did its job. I didn't see a single kill off of Molten Core, the ultimate, which doesn't necessarily need to happen as long as you're locking down spaces, but you only locked down a space once, and that was at the very end in the last team fight. So we really need to be a lot better with, what is the purpose of Molten Core? And especially if you branch out to other heroes other than Torb, you need to learn the purpose of their ults. If you don't know the purpose, then either think about it or and figure it out yourself, or just Google it, because there's a bunch of YouTubers that'll give you the purposes of ults and stuff like that. But Torbjörn's, his ult, it's just meant to zone things. And honestly, I'm thinking about doing some tutorial videos. I might do a tutorial video on the purpose of every ult. That honestly sounds like a good idea. I don't know. That might be coming out in the future. We'll see. But the purpose of, your Molten Core, just for this Torbjorn specific, but the purpose of your ult is just to zone. All you need to do is zone, lock off the enemy team from getting places, right? And you've done your job with that ultimate. Um, and then the purpose of your overload or your cooldown ability is either A, to keep you alive, and or B, to kill close range people and flankers. It can also be used to push the envelope, right? To just get aggressive and take space. And typically you don't want to do that as DPS. There's very few DPS that do that at all, and typically they're not really meant to. DPS are meant to use space, they're not necessarily meant to take it, but you can use it to take it or to push up like with an off tank or something like that. Like let's say your Zarya's pushing in, she's a high charge Zarya, she's like peeling, she's just pushing and taking space. You could use your overload and then push in with her just to help her take space, you know? So yeah, just keep that in mind. But I mean your Torbjörn mechanics, like your aim also could use a little bit of improvement. Um, you know, the and not necessarily like your aim I think could use some work, of course. I think every player below diamond and sometimes even players in diamond, honestly, they should be working on their aim more than the majority of other things. And I mean, there's a lot of other things that are important, but you know, if you're a DPS player, aim is pretty mechanically intensive. Or sorry, if you're a DPS player, then aim is a very big part of your role, so you need to be good at it. So I would practice aim trainers, like I said, just look a bunch of them up on Google or YouTube. There's a bunch of codes and workshop codes, and you could just grind those out for a little bit. Like even if you can take like 15 to 20 minutes a day, like that could make quite a difference. But the thing with your aim is you're not really using it, right? So I showed you that one clip where you were just left, right, strafing and moving into shots, which can work if you already have like your crosshair at the right level to hit things. But you didn't, so it's just kind of missing everything. So we need to work on that a little bit more. But yeah, just work on that. But yeah, I would say your main issues is honestly just your playing passive, right? Because you're too far back consistently. Um, when your team's like far up. So your positioning, your use of overload, and your use of molten core. I think once you fix those things, you're gonna climb pretty high on ladder. But yeah, so uh, I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys have a good day. Also something I forgot to say in the title, um, or not in the title, when I started the video, uh, if you want to be featured in a video, you can either go to my Discord, which will be linked in the description, or you guys can send me an email with your code, just like Robert did, and I will be showing my email on screen right now for about the next 10 seconds. But yeah, have a good day, guys. Peace.